Welcome to the Therapy Business Club podcast. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be an incredible time today, as always, of course, with all of our guests. Therapy Business Club, what is it? It helps therapists, perhaps like you, get clients, develop your practice to a flourishing place where, you can create a lifestyle from it that you deserve. Resources, assets. We have weekly meetings, we have pop-ups, all sorts of things designed to help you really take your skills to the next level so that you can engage with the clients you want to work with. That's what it's all about. You can check out previous podcasts on YouTube or on Spotify, links around this podcast. Right, no further ado, I want to welcome a special guest today. They're all special. And that's a dear friend of mine and a fellow hypnotherapist, Gwen Gould. Gwen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Ewan, and thank you for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to this.
Good. I can see you're fired up. You're ready? All good to go?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. I was looking, Gwen, actually, at your website. You're in Thurso.
Yes, very north of Scotland.
Yeah, I thought I know where Thurso is. I confused it
Right.
first. Then I looked and I thought, wow, that's almost, way down in Cornwall. So
Yes.
it's like Land's End to John O'Groats, almost really.
That is the North Coast 500.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. It was a boring fact I learned at school. It's like 964. Well, it can't be miles actually from Land's End to John O'Groats.
I usually do about 500 down to as far as King's Lynn.
Oh, maybe it isn't. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. It looks stunning. It looks stunning.
it is. I'm actually looking at the cliffs of Melvick.
All right, don't make me jealous. Well, I've got beautiful land around me as well.
Yes, we used to have a lot of hobbies in Cornwall.
Yeah. Well, obviously you don't sound Scottish, so at some point you've moved up there at some point.
Yes, I was born and lived in southeast of London with my parents, and I remember a story my dad said. He went into the scullery. He always made my mum a cup of tea at the weekend in bed, and I was at the time I was the eldest of three children, but there was another three to come in the future, and he went into the scullery and there were rats sitting on the area, and he just said to my mum, "I'll take any job, any house. We're just getting out of London." Because they were starting to pull houses down to redevelop.
Yeah.
We're pre-1960. So we moved to East Anglia and we grew up and lived in East Anglia until I married and then moved to Hertfordshire and then Cumbria and now in Scotland.
So where do you go from there? Orkney Islands, Shetland Islands, Norway?
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
It looks a beautiful place. And, I suppose for outdoor adventure, cleaning your hair and just head, I should say, not cleaning your hair, just getting your head clean and enjoying nature and engaging must be an awesome place up there.
Yeah. I mean, my grandchildren live up here now as well with my daughter. And, the beaches are so, well, they're shallow, clear and,
Nice.
Fairly safe.
Very nice. I think once you live by the sea, it's really reluctant to move away.
Yeah,
Cornwall
got to be
was
near
spoiled
water.
to the north coast
Yeah.
and the south coast, so I would move. That's great. So that's a bit about you, your background growing up and everything. But what this podcast is about, Gwen, as I say every week, is to interview therapists, whatever their particular skill is. It's typically hypnotherapists, to be honest, because that's what the emphasis is. But it's always nice to hear people's own story of how they got into their type of therapy, because therapists are caring people trying to make a difference in other people's lives. So I'm just curious, with all your moving around, how you found yourself as a therapist. What's the backstory?
Well, the backstory is more when I was a midwife. I was a community midwife up here in Scotland, Tongue, Betty Hill, Melvick. That was my area. And part of that, we did some training in hypnobirthing, which was for obviously women that wanted to do home births, but also hospital births. And the NHS actually paid for quite a few midwives to do the training so that when the women went into the hospital, they had midwives that were also doing hypnobirthing. But we could only use it for hypnobirthing, nothing else. But I felt there was something there for other people and other symptoms. And it came to fact when I was looking after my husband at home. I had to take some time off work and quite a few months actually. And I thought, I can't just sit here. I know I've got nursing duties to do for my husband, but I need something to keep my mind occupied. And it just happened. It must have been because I was thinking about it. Something came into my email news box. Um, Hypnotherapy with Marissa Peers and rapid transformational therapy. And it was affordable, and I could do it over a year from home. And I started doing the training. And I actually we used to have students that would practice on each other. And my big thing was confidence. My father's mantra was children should be seen and not heard, lovingly, but I can understand being a mother and a grandmother that sometimes you just need peace and quiet. But it did affect me all through growing up. And it was only through going through the hypnotherapy with students and then literally turning around and saying, I'm not a kid anymore. I've got responsibilities. I've got a job.
Good.
I'm not that person anymore. And since then, you can't shut me up. I found my voice, and I thought, no, this is what I want to do. I'd always been interested in having a side hustle, but I felt you need a service or a product. And I thought hypnotherapy is going to be my service. And I started to develop it more and more. I practiced on fellow midwives, and just really got the bug. And I thought, right, I'm due to retire next year. I'm going to start preparing. And so that when I leave midwifery, I've got a business to go into. And that's how it's panned out, really.
Very good thinking. I mean, all our careers at some point shift, don't they?
Yeah.
Sometimes they end abruptly, but I like the way you flowed into that. You saw how it would work for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's the same. I think a lot of people when just don't stumble into they benefit from something like therapy and they realize, oh my goodness, this is the missing link. It was for me actually, coaching and other things, but when I received hypnotherapy for myself and it removed something that couldn't be removed in just speaking or the traditional ways, I realized at that point it's the unconscious. That's where so much of our life is happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Into that. And so that's wonderful. In the NHS, I know a lot of people just feel that the NHS now is just a crumbling institution. I mean, I suppose it's under many tough challenges, of course. I suppose you must see all sorts of people you could help in the NHS who, going to a doctor, they're taking prescription medicine, everything, which seems to be the way that people get shoved, don't they, rather than
Yeah.
exploring alternative therapies. I don't like that label because these are as efficient sometimes as, the traditional mainstream treatments. What's your opinion of that?
Yeah, I mean, with the waiting list the way they are, I mean, we're quite lucky that we can get appointments quite close locally. But I know even in Thurso, sometimes you're waiting weeks for appointments, and then they've got the 18-week plus having to wait for consultations going to hospital. So we can reach people so much quicker. And it's just getting the word out there that, hypnotherapy is available, it's quick. All right, it's not free, but you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your own health. And I always think, well, how much would a lady go and spend on having her hair done this month? 50, £60? Right, we'll start from there and work up. Because once they've done hypnotherapy, they've got it for life. They can use it for all different things. Once they've been taught how to do self-hypnosis, they can use it for anything and everything.
So that's what you're doing. You're not just doing the therapy, you're leaving people with self-hypnosis how to.
Yeah.
Very empowering. Do you do a lot of work in the NHS? Do you have sort of is it encouraging you to be in there and helping?
I've still got to progress into that. I've had colleagues that say midwives that I've worked with, and friends of friends, people that have referred on to me, stopping smoking, fears and phobias, that sort of thing. I'm quite general at the moment. I'm approaching anything. If someone comes to me and it's something I haven't come across it before, then I'll do the research. I'll find out more about the actual condition. I'll even look at hypnotherapists that specialise in that area and look at the way they do things. I always give them a recording the following day that they listen to for 21 days at least. So that starts to rewire the brain, change those habits.
Awesome.
But yeah, at the moment I'm quite general. I've also got the hypnobirthing, which I also concentrate on as well.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that. I mean, obviously, I don't do hypnobirthing. I know it's a thing, and it seems to be something which is in quite demand. Perhaps the awareness is growing about it. I mean, what is that?
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Well, hypnobirthing is again looking at a lot of women come into pregnancy, labour, birth, really quite fearful.
Mm.
And they're quite anxious. So it's working with them over a period of usually about 4 to 6 weeks, and going through a program of care where you teach them to be confident in themselves, confident in their bodies. You teach them breathing techniques, relaxation techniques, visualization is a big thing, and just go through the different stages of labour, what to recognise, when to call the midwife, but also so they've practiced for at least 3 weeks before they actually go into labour. I mean, you can't pinpoint it exactly, but so that when labour does start, it's second nature. They know what to do. They know to start their breathing. They know to relax. They know to start visualising. And it's just getting that into their heads so that they don't suddenly become frightened, because it's when they're frightened, they tense up, the pain becomes worse. So really it's just working through, say, different stages of labour. And with hypnobirthing, you can use it with water births. You can use it with gas and air. You know, you don't have to say, right, I can't have any other pain relief.
Right.
You can even use it if you're going to have a section, because you can prepare your mind, so you're not frightened or tensed up beforehand. So it's really, really good.
High success rate?
Yes. Yeah.
So it is actually you inducing into, not into labor, but into induction into classic hypnosis, and then okay.
And also you've got things like I don't know if I can say, because I trained with the Wise Hippo through the NHS, and before that I trained through the Monga method, which is more an American method, and one of them is the cloak of protection, and having that cloak of protection and the visualization and the actual meditation, so that people, some people could say quite hurtful things and quite worrying things, and you've got this protection. You can have any colour, any star. Mine's purple ermine, and the words just bounce off, but it's just a lot of different tools to help you get through, and
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, definitely, it's lovely.
So that's one resource in your therapy toolbox, and I like the fact that you won't say no to anyone. You'll research it. Obviously, some things are contraindicated.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
But give it a go.
Yeah. The general things, absolutely fine. As you say, there's some things that you have to say, I'm sorry, you need to go back to your doctor, specialist, whatever.
Yeah. So how busy are you as a therapist, Gwen?
I could be busier. It is working on marketing. I must admit, when I retired, I thought, right, retire, start my business, get clients, get rich. No, there's a lot of the marketing that I didn't realise. I did a lot of training, but perhaps wasn't doing what was really beneficial to me now. I now know the things that are starting to work.
Yeah, you're very active, of course, within Therapy Business Club.
Yes.
One of the things we always... Sorry, Gwen.
I'd say the resources there are amazing, and because you can stop your recording, and then do what they're saying, and then start again and move on again.
I think it's one thing that trips a lot of people up. I say this probably every podcast, but I think it's wonderful that people want to be hypnotherapists, therapists, caring, compassionate, and they are full of vision. I'll leave this job and I'll go into it, and I'm going to see 5 clients a week, and it's going to be awesome. My life's going to change, without really weighing up that actually they're going into a business first. The therapy is secondary. Actually, I know that bursts some people's balloons, but if you look at it as, I've got to get my marketing in place, I've got to know who I'm trying to help. How will I reach them? How will I message them so that they see I am the person with the solution for what they need? How do I use social media? Because that's where everyone is, isn't it, Gwen?
Yeah.
People are on Facebook, on Instagram. So if you're not comfortable, you can learn. Or if you just say, well, I don't want to do any of that stuff, then in some ways you're sort of condemning yourself that you're not going to find. I remember in my training, actually, I don't need to mention names, but some person I was in hypnotherapy training with was just simply going to manifest their clients. dead serious she was. And I understand that manifest I'll bring into my orbit. I
Hmm.
get that because I believe in probably half of that. But I thought I'd like to see where you are in a year's time because if you don't really have a plan of how you're going
Hmm.
to reach out to the people you know you can help, you're not going to survive. And that's true of any business, isn't it? In the first year, most businesses go to the wall anyway. So I want to see you succeed, Gwen. I know you're active in the Therapy Business Club. You're getting on the YouTube channel now. You're really
Yes, I just started my YouTube channel.
awesome. So the link for that will be in the podcast description. How's that been?
um, I say I've definitely just started putting the videos up now. They're a slightly longer, well, they're short compared to like TikTok and Facebook.
Yeah.
But I've adapted something of what Kev had shown us, and I think that's going to work really well. Um, I'm obviously going to look at TikTok because of the age group.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at Facebook and somebody said about the age group, and I thought, well, that's ideal for the pregnant women because they are that age group.
Mm.
Facebook generally for hypnotherapy and hypnobirthing clients. YouTube, as you said. I have got the manuscript for a book. Admittedly, I have used AI to help, but
Admittedly, it's a great asset.
it is absolutely. I mean, this has totally changed because it saves you so much time.
Hmm.
Comes up with such great ideas, and I always think you come up with an idea, and then they can help you do the work. So I've just got to get that proofread and book covers, that sort of thing. So I want to, and it was more to support my hypnobirthing business,
Yeah.
sort of an authority.
Yeah.
And if it sells more, then that's brilliant. I'm looking at podcasts as well. So this is why I wanted to try this one. See
Yeah,
how
you're
it
doing
went.
great.
I actually looked at it with my colleague. She's a therapist. She does Kunda dance and yoga,
Mm.
but she's not at the right place at the moment. She's got young children, so I mean I'm on my own, so I'm fine. But she's got other commitments. But I'm sure she'll look at this and think, yeah, we will do this. So yeah, there's so much that we can be doing, and it's just getting in front of people. And we always offer a free discovery call, so that gives them a chance to ask questions, find out a bit more about it, and if they want to continue, then she'd do the sessions.
Yeah, it's a golden age, really, because there's social media, all these platforms
Yeah.
as ways to find people. Now, obviously, just simply having a YouTube video doesn't mean someone's automatically going to find you. But Therapy Business Club is giving training on how to, I suppose, optimize your user
Yes.
experience to get people. And the more you do, of course, Gwen, the momentum builds.
Yeah.
Social media starts working in your favor as you engage people. So good for you. So that's working at this stage for you. I suppose, how long do you want to be doing this for?
Oh,
What's the sort of long-term plan?
well, this is it because it's not. I was used to doing 30-hour shifts and on calls. Um, you still there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
30-hour shifts and then on calls until the following day, and then a 30-hour shift for 3 days stretch.
Wow.
So I'm used to doing weekends and evenings, so that's not a problem. That I can fit in with other people for that. My colleague is actually 75, and I think she's still doing the odd midwifery shift. So you never know. Yeah, my dream is to have my own house.
Right. Well,
So see how that goes.
it
But
come true. And of course, another one of the benefits, Gwen, of hypnotherapy is it can all be done online as well. So it's very
yes,
popular on Zoom, so you don't need to go anywhere.
exactly. Yeah. I've done most of what I've done on Zoom, but I have now put up that I'm going to do face to face. There was a problem with where I was, but I've suddenly realised that the problem that they thought, and we've actually got a car park right close, so it shouldn't interrupt anybody.
Okay.
So yeah,
Does that appeal to you more than the Zoom, being in presence, face to face?
I quite like to because I miss the groups. We used to do groups with the hypnobirthing
Hmm.
and actually see the women, and I have the tool, resources.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do miss that. And I also went on a training session for public speaking, so perhaps even progress a bit, after doing a few more videos on presentations, meeting people. Yeah, you never know.
You're communicating very well, very
My life has
confidently.
changed so much in the last 2 years, having done the hypnotherapy training, then used it for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've also got a freedom now that I didn't have before.
Yeah. You want to tell the world what you do now, don't you? You want to
Yeah.
help the world one soul at a time. I always say, one person changed, is the way to changing the world, isn't it? A better you is a better world. And I just admire your passion for it. Obviously,
Thank you.
the zeal is there, Gwen. I really do wish you success. And if you go on, well, I notice on Facebook, there's a lot of adverts for training now, whether it's hypnotherapy, whether it's Reiki, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
RTT. So there's a whole new stream of people testing the waters as if this is for them. It won't be for everyone, of course. And for me, when I saw that, I jumped in feet first and have loved it with
Mm-hmm.
clients and so forth. But as time goes on, you get better, don't you? Not just in the therapy, but in marketing yourself, getting yourself
Yeah.
out there. But what do you think are some of the challenges that new therapists are going to feel that you felt, but feel you're working your way through now? Some of the stumbling blocks to avoid.
Uh, the first thing was um, speaking on camera.
Yeah.
And of course, the hypnotherapy training helped with confidence. So that's, we passed that obstacle. I think sometimes we try and learn too much and don't put stuff into practice. We have so much
Mm.
stuff on the computer that we've learned, but we actually need to put it into practice. That's what I think. That's one of my problems was I was always learning something, but then I needed to actually do
Yeah.
it
And isn't there
because nobody can see it if you haven't put it out there.
such a saturation of information, really?
Yeah.
Good stuff as well. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, just getting yourself out there and just say no one's going to be perfect straight away, and you just learn as you go along. And if you practice with friends, they can they can tell you where you need to improve. Um, yeah, so I just keep trying everything.
Do you do free stuff? Is that how you've sort of got out there and experienced free sessions?
I did 2 free sessions. One was for a wellness group in Betty Hill, one in Melvick. Um, the first one I wasn't very good. I was very much looking at my notes. The actual relaxation was fine. That was not a problem. It was just the uh, small talk beforehand. The second one, I actually did some look back on some previous training, and I thought I need stories. I need something to relax, generally talk about things. I had props. I had like when you talk about the hypnotherapist being like a detective, they interpret, they interrupt, and they install. So I was putting all these different hats on my head to show them
Nice. I
that
like
other
that.
people. Yeah, it's something that Marissa Peers uses as well. I can't use it online all the time, but it was just a private
Okay.
session.
Copyright. Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking about having waistcoats as my trademark. I don't know yet. But yeah, so those were 2 free sessions, and I've just started a Gwen's Gentle Mind Spa retreat for weekend.
Say that fast 3 times.
Gwen's Gentle Mind Spa retreat. So it's really
Nice.
a meditation for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, more for like women at weekends when they've got 10 minutes to spare and they can just relax. And it's a lovely meditation. There's some beautiful pictures. I know you've got your eyes shut, but if you look at it first and then listen to it, that's fine. And that's free, obviously. That's a new group that I've just started. So I'm hoping to build on that as well.
You're just full on, Gwen, aren't you? Just getting it.
Well, I've always thought of myself as an entrepreneur, and I realised the other day when I was thinking about my father, he was actually an entrepreneur because when he moved from London, he took a job. I said any job. He became, I suppose you call it supervisor. He worked his way up to manager. He worked his way up to sales manager. The American company tried to did buy the company, and then they wanted to sell it because they couldn't make enough money. But my dad knew that there was money to be made, so he and some other directors, some other managers, bought the company. He retired with a good retirement pot. My brother now works there. He's got shares. He's about to retire. So that company where it would have gone down, probably like 20 years ago, are still going and people are still employed.
Yeah.
He did a brilliant job.
Well, I think that entrepreneurial spirit's in you because, this stage when, and I made the point before, you've got to be thinking business entrepreneurial when it comes to marketing yourself, getting out there. Yes, we need to get comfortable with communicating with people. Yes, it's awkward, but there's various tools to get us through that. And I think if we really want to help people, then we've got to be the best version of ourselves, haven't we?
Yeah.
And that includes business skills. What sort of stuff are you doing for personal development? Because obviously we're only the sum of what we are. So what do you do for personal development?
I've got mentors, two other mentors. One from building courses. So I've got within the hypnobirthing business, I've got a course that's online. I've also got a confidence course that is due to go online. And I've got another mentorship, and they do similar to what you've got, a lot more expensive, but I'm sort of tied into them because I've got my website on there, so I'm tied in. Otherwise, I'd definitely
easy to shift. Plug.
Yes, well, I'm thinking after the year, I've just redone the website myself, and I was quite pleased with it. So I thought, I can do it on there, I can do it anywhere.
Yes.
So yeah, I might start streamlining and cutting down on my expenses because that's my biggest thing at the moment is the amount of money going out to what's coming in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wish you success in that. Talking websites, what is the website address?
Well, the website for the hypnotherapy is https://highlands-therapy.com.
Right. That will be on the screen as you're speaking that, by the way. I will add that in.
All right. Okay. And then the hypnobirthing is https hypnobirthingabc.com.
You just need to say the domain name, actually, Gwen.
Well, I think with the hypnobirthing one, if you put the www in, it doesn't go there.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's a domain record that needs
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We won't get technical. Okay.
No.
Well, those links will be around this. If it's on YouTube, the video. If it's on Spotify, they're in there, of course. So
yeah.
That's awesome. New year, optimistic about the people you can reach out and help.
More so in this last month or so since I've really been concentrating on the therapy club. It's just amazing. As I say, just being able to watch it, stop it, do it, watch it, stop it, do it. I'm just getting on so much quicker now.
Yeah.
And people are starting to talk about me now nicely.
Wonderful.
So that's good.
That's the vision that Kevin and myself had. Realize you want to do therapy, great. How are you going to do that? So let's get the business tools around. And then, of course, it's just take action. Even if it's a small thing, you realize, wow, I can do that. And then the confidence grows. And then all of a sudden, you've got a YouTube channel, you've got a Facebook group, blah, blah. So I've always said, yeah, great. Good for you, Gwen. You're doing it and you're seeing the fruit.
Yeah.
That's it. I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
Thank you. And I didn't even look at my notes.
No, well, I've sort of looked at the questions here, but you've let it flow in a very natural way, and I think that's been really good. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends or fellow therapists who you think that this could really help them speak into and encourage them. Perhaps they're a new practitioner and they just need that little bit of a push to take action, as Gwen has done, our guest today. Therapybusinessclub.com is where you can find us. We've got a 2-week free test drive, so there's no financial commitment. You can check out all the resources, be part of our Facebook group, join us for our weekly calls, and so much more. Therapybusinessclub.com. Gwen, thank you for your time today, sharing your expertise. And from my heart, I wish you immense, huge success as you engage the people you can help best.
Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me on. And thank you for the business club. It's Therapy Business Club. It's amazing.
Wow. I appreciate the accolade. That's very encouraging. Thank you. All right. That's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye, Gwen. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Everyone. Bye-bye.